When you set the table for one, it is the greatest number you will ever encounter. Because if it's 50 billion one day, they are the ones that came after one. Anything in your life that is a first, you're going to remember it. Your first job, your first romantic experience, your first apartment, your first car. So when you start setting the table, you get there and you go, wow, okay, I only need one glass. I'm going to need one napkin, one knife, one fork, one spoon, and one plate. I must feed myself before I dare feed it to anyone else. Everything you can dream can get bigger. Everything that you can hope for the future can get bigger. So as long as you set that first place for yourself and you are willing to drink it all, eat it all, take everything off your plate, take that nourishment and give it away, because they are coming. I can see them. They're right over that ridge. And they're coming for everything you've lived, so that when they got there, you'd be waiting. Take that with you and have a divine day.
Don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Okay, I was going to try to act like this was really in the morning because this is pre-recorded, but I ain't going to be able to pull it off, so I'm just going to come clean from the gate. Because plus it has dawned on me. If you guys are watching, which I know you are, today, which is Friday morning, but it's really Thursday night. You know I had this on yesterday, which is really earlier today because it's Thursday night. But you're going to see this on Friday morning. So there it is. It's out there on the table. I ain't going to try to change. I could have took this off, though. Dang, I just told myself. Welcome to today's installment, or is it tonight's installment, of Bathrobe Moments. Listen, I'm your host, Dr. Lauren, and this is a good one. A momentous occasion, if I must say so, because been on the E360 network all these years. You all know that. You know, January 8th coming up will begin official full year number 8 of the show. And been on StreamYard the whole time, but now we're moving into greener pastures, higher diving boards, and that sort of thing as we move on down that road to legacy, right? Can I get an amen? So this is the first. It's a pre-record, but it is the first Thank you. There. Can I get an amen? And where are my manners? Good morning, you beautiful people. So here we are on a new platform known as Wave Video. And so you have to bear with me. Remember the early days when I was like, you remember. So it's hopefully not going to be that challenging, but nonetheless, there's a learning curve involved. So anyway, welcome to today's installment. It's Friday, the first day of December. Or is it the last day of November? I'm loving this. So anyway, here we are, blessed, highly favored. Remember why we're here before we get started, so we don't get anything twisted and we don't miss any of our blessings. Can I get an amen? Listen, don't underestimate the power of what you're doing right now. Because I certainly won't. We together are creating a divine moment in time. We are enacting one of the greatest promises available, that one that guarantees us that wherever just two of us, come together with that heart center, that desire to be of service and to ease suffering in the world and to pour into each other on a consistent basis. Well, that's fellowship, that's agreement. That's all those great things. Agape love, it's just everything. Unconditional love, it's healing, it's increase, it's abundance, take your pick. But it is a promise, because when we come together, we enact that promise of two or more. So that's what you're doing. So I just want you to know, you're not just occupying space because of this agreement. We are all now occupying sacred space. Last time, can I get an amen? Okay, so that's the bell of purpose. It is here on purpose. I ring it when some truth is out there, so you don't get so busy that you miss it. And because the truth, just like that bell, you guessed it, it has a ring to it. And at this point of the show, welcome as always, my sidekick, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Why is she here? Because I love me some Lucy. As I swallow the last couple dregs of today's coffee. Oh wait, or was that yesterday's coffee? Man, Rod Sterling, you all just walk on out here at any moment. This is some Night Gallery Twilight Zone shit. I'm happy to be here with you. We have Chandrika in the house. I ain't even going to try that last name because I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to let her tell you. She's a great sport. She's a teacher. And so we're recording at night because she's in front of those students, right, in the morning. And so this is why she's here tonight. And let me pull up the bio. Hold on, y'all. Because I don't know how to. Oh wait, yes I do. I said I was going. Let me see. Okay, I think it's working the same way. Chandrika Fee D, and I think is it Denise. We'll find out. We should play the game, the guess the middle name game, for a book bundle or a gift card. Y'all want to play? Try to figure out what D stands for. Chandrika D. She's an ordained reverend. She's an outdoor enthusiast, a Georgia public school professional, and a partner with W Brand Publishing for the release of her debut, best-selling award-winning, two-time Next Generation Indie Book Award finalist. Woo! Lord, I'm tired just from reading that. Woo! Okay. I'm going to do like them young kids. Look, I can show you better than I can tell you, because it's late or is it early? And I'm like, just want to get her in here. I'm just so glad that it's still working. I'm here. Okay. So, wait. Okay. Where is okay. All right. So, where's my count? I don't know where anything is. I'm not even going to try that. How can I do it? I'm trying to do some kind of special something, Chandrika, for your entrance. But I don't know where like all my little bells and what. Oh, here we go. I know. And then here she comes. Chandrika. Here she comes. Hey. Oh, this might be a new thing. Hey. Ellen used to dance on her show.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. What was her interest?
Okay. Woo!
Oh, did you just jump back into the chair?
We found a whole like she did.
Right.
We found a whole new thing. Yay! Chandrika,
So
thank
great.
you. So say the name.
Chandrika Fee.
Who?
Chandrika Fee.
Chandrika.
Yes.
You know what? You're doing too much with these names, girl. For real. I mean, you ought to give a car away to the first person that says every one of your names correctly. Because that's the prize. No one's going to get all of
Chandrika. It is actually Hindi. So anyone from India would understand the name. It is also the name of a soap popularly used in India. It means Queen of the Moon.
Chandrika Fee.
Chandrika does.
Chandrika
means Queen of the Moon.
And say the last name.
Fee, like Fee.
Chandrika Fee.
Yes.
Well, I'm scared to ask. We ain't playing that game. Ain't no book bundles. Ain't no.
Thank you.
Ain't gonna be no gift card.
Well, let me tell you why I don't want to play it, because my middle name is for the people who need to know. So when we get off, you
girl. Is it really? Is it?
No, but it's.
Stop! You're scaring me.
I cannot take you.
What is? Just tell me this. How many letters in it?
It's less than Chandrika, more than Fee. Less letters than Chandrika, but more letters than Fee.
I'm not even gonna. I can't. I can't at this time of day. Or is it night?
This switching back and forth is hilarious.
It kind of is. And in the past, every time I've done a pre-record, I do the whole thing. Hey, change clothes, drink water, and it'd be pretending like it's coffee and all that stuff. Yeah. You know what? This morning when I got up, because it goes out like it's live, but it's pre-recorded. Right. But I couldn't go there tonight. And I'm glad, because this is much more fun.
Getting more authentic. That's all.
So look, what I usually do, and I'm going to try to do. Oh yeah, I can do it here. Oh. That's one thing I don't know how to do. Oh, here it is over here. Okay, yes, I do. So I'm going to give you a moment to say hello to everybody and kind of create your own vibe. Take a minute or so and fill in between, because I didn't go through your whole bio. And then that way you can just tell them the things that are important to you.
I think my bio might be 5 sentences long.
No, I tell people to send a brief bio, and clearly.
It's brief. I think it's got to be 5 sentences. It cannot be
5.
It's just the way it looks in the platform you're using.
No, I know word counts, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord, did you guys? Okay, wait. No, stop. Nah. 5 sentences. Here we go. Chandrika Fee, an ordained reverend, is an outdoor enthusiast, a Georgia public school professional, and a partner with W Brand Publishing, which really should be a period right there.
Oh gosh.
For the release, it's 5 lines, because there's one period, and it's at the end of the whole. I am not even gonna. You know what we're going to do? You all get on my page later this afternoon. I will post the thread. You be the judge.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so on to funner pastures. Here comes your moment of truth. This is like your reverse Jerry Springer moment, because it's not the end of the show, it's at the front of the show, but it really is like your Jerry Springer moment. So I capitalize on it. If I was you, I think, take it away. I'm gonna take the easy route out here. All you.
So seeing that I didn't watch Jerry Springer a lot, my name is Chandrika. Obviously, I was born in Oklahoma City, born to pastors, come from a long line of clergy. I am the oldest of 4 girls who grew up singing, and also me preaching in church. Church is all we knew all of our lives. Moved to Georgia to finish my degree in biblical studies. And from there, I got an opportunity to live in China. where my life, my spiritual life, and the life of my religious practice was revolutionized. I went to China, my curiosity inhaled. I came back to the States and my curiosity exhaled into a book that we will later discuss, I believe. That's all I have. Love outdoors. I love to cycle, love swimming, love hiking. Went on my first hike of the year last Saturday. I love all of that.
Now, you know what all the black folks saying, right?
Of course,
All the
black
black
people
folks saying,
do
like, she sure got a sister name, but she don't like nothing black girls like, right?
Ne-
Hiking,
Neither name is sister.
women.
The last name is French. The first name is Indian. What are you talking about? But I got them
Man,
sister
Chan.
lips and sister hips. Don't get it twisted.
Well, there it is. So you grew up in the church.
Yes.
Pretty strict.
Absolutely. I was raised Pentecostal holiness, a particular denomination called Church of God in Christ. We call it
Kojic.
Yes. And so that was a skirt wearing, no earrings, no jewelry, no makeup.
They have a lot of conventions too, don't they?
Right. They've had 2 or 3 already this year. I think the last one was in November.
It's a huge
It's the largest
community.
Pentecostal gathering in the world to date that I know of. Then I think after that is Pentecostal Assemblies of the World.
Any idea, Chandrika, how many members in the Kojic family in the United States?
It can be found. I want to guess. I would like to guess I'd like to guess between 500,000 and 1 million.
Wow.
And I might be cutting it short by when I say 1 million. Might be more than that.
Are you a practicing Kojic member today?
No.
So where do you stand in your spiritualism today? Is it spiritualism? Is it organized religion? What would you call it today?
I would call it more spiritual, more so engaged in my personal relationship with the idea or the divinity that is God.
So,
yeah. But I'm also, a woman who was raised in Black church culture. So right. I could still hang with the best of them. I could still play a tambourine. I could still sing my parts in a choir.
Of course.
On a praise team. And so
what's the biggest difference? What would you say is the biggest difference between that world and this one?
The biggest difference is that I get to embrace curiosity. Forget just Kojic, but I think Christianity doesn't allow for curiosity. Ooh. That's what led me outdoors. That's what led me to the outdoors, because the outdoors was big enough. It holds enough space for a curiosity that has no beginning and no end. I get to explore. And not only did Christianity take that sense of curiosity away in, if I could say, in concept, but even in real physical time. I didn't have time to be curious. I was too busy being a Christian. And so, religion, particularly the one I grew up in, there are no questions to ask. Every answer or every question has been answered already. And it's all in this book called the Bible, or it comes from our elders. The verse, there's the verse that there's nothing new under the sun.
True.
I'm not sure that's true. Perhaps new.
There are things new under the sun.
Well, but that's in scripture. And I think perhaps that new is relative. It's subjective. So it's new to me. You know what I mean? Well, but I've heard for so long there's nothing new under the sun. So that squashes curiosity. That silences it. It chokes it out. Well, what am I asking questions for? I'm saved, and we're the only ones that can be saved. And the way salvation works is the way we say it works,
Mhm.
and that's just it. There's no room for questions.
Well, where'd you spend Thanksgiving?
I spent Thanksgiving with friends here in Columbus,
You
people I
did.
consider family. Yeah,
What about Christmas?
it's probably same thing. Same.
So you don't go to the family. So what's it like with your family now? Since how did things still good?
Everything
That
is
you let
good.
because this is what they call left the church.
Right, right. Everything is good. Everything is good. It's not something we talk about necessarily. My you know, I think it's impressive that I wrote a book. It's impressive that it's a best-selling book. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be what it turned out to be. Um,
Let's talk about it. Tell everybody because that's probably why ain't nobody messing with your ass no more. I'm just playing. You heard what she said, huh? That
Right.
scandalous book. You might as well have wrote the help.
Okay.
Right? You might as well have wrote the help. So look, what's that? Tell everybody what the title of the book. Yeah, there it is.
Lord,
I don't want to die Christian.
you told me to tell him.
Oh yeah, I know, but I had to put that voice behind it. That's what all the black women in the coaching class, that big convention,
Right.
30,000 of them was talking about you.
Okay.
Well, seriously though, I mean that's a pretty bold statement / title.
Yes.
Talk about that book title, how you got there, and what it means.
So thank you for asking that. I had this opportunity after getting my degree in biblical studies, after becoming a licensed minister. I had an opportunity to go do missions work in China. China, being in a country like China where Christianity is not embraced, is not celebrated, it made me have to figure out how to express what I believed differently. Here in the States, we get to wear what we believe. We get to put it on our cars. We get to put it on our windows and stickers and homes and flags and signs in our yards. And we get to identify ourselves by what we believe. We get to do that freely around our necks. It's our crucifixes on our earrings. We adorn the symbolism that reflects what we believe, our religious beliefs. And in China, that's a bit dangerous. So I had to take all of that off and figure out who I was without the titles, without the church membership, without the clothing. I did not know who I was without all of that. I didn't even know I had that had become so much a part of my identity. And so figuring out who I was without all of that was a journey. And I was there 2 years. And when I came back to the States, the very thing I went to do, which was to reach, love, and perhaps even offer salvation to freshman Chinese college students. The very thing I've gone to do in China for 2 years, I didn't want it anymore. My spiritual life had quietly evolved, unbeknownst to me.
So, okay, so how'd you come out to everybody about this new? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of the coming out was the book. I would say a lot of the coming out to the most important people was the book, which
So that's how you told them.
Which would be my parents, aunts and uncles, my
Ooh,
friends,
ooh,
several of my
I bet if I could have been a fly on them walls when them phones started lighting up. So what was it like?
There were no phone calls. There were no
well, not to you, but to each other.
Yeah,
They
I
were
don't
tearing
know.
it
I
up.
wasn't there, so I don't know.
Did you see Chandrika's book? I heard it was out good. You saw it?
I can imagine.
Aunt Minnie said, I ain't read it, but I'm gonna tell you, Aunt Minnie said,
who is Aunt Minnie?
I'll just make up names.
Oh, I know.
But ooh wee. So, okay, but when they finally did start calling in or whatever it was,
Mhm.
who was the first one in your family to read it?
I don't know. I really don't
Okay,
know.
who was the first person you remember saying, "Girl, I read the book"?
The first is an aunt who didn't
You
call
don't
me
got
to
to use
tell
a
me.
real name.
No, I won't. Who didn't call me to tell me, but started to comment on posts on social media.
And what was the
Positive,
climate? Positive?
positive. Yes.
Okay, what about when well, I ain't even got to ask. What about when you first got some pushback? How did it open up? What kind of dialogue? Was it
So
able to open up dialogue where people like, well, where people curious, like, what would make you say that?
So of course it has opened up. This is a continuation of the opening of dialogue. Just this conversation. What has been interesting to me is that several, what I've learned is that you don't write a book for your family or your friends. I didn't realize that. I didn't know that family and friends will support but won't read it, and that goes for any book, not
Mm,
just mine.
ain't that right?
So what I've discovered is in conversation now, um, those that are closest to me who have access to me are learning about what I wrote in the book. I'm constantly having to say, I wrote it in the book. Just read the book. And what has been happening, not often, but what has been happening is in those conversations, people are finding out the differences and either making a decision to continue to love me and respect me just like I love and respect them, or they're disappearing.
Mm. Have you ever? I know you've thought about it. You know this book needs to end up in the education system.
I've heard about it. Yes, I've thought about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. This book needs to end up like I think high school level
Hmm.
is early. I really do. High school level, definitely. Um, what did you in? What? Okay, two-part question. Was the thing you enjoyed the most about writing this? Was it the process, the self um realization, or whatever it was? What you have experienced since writing it,
Hmm.
and after that, on the other side of the table, is what has been the most challenging thing to accept about this project?
There was nothing enjoyable about writing the book.
Nothing?
Nothing. It only got harder closer to the end. There was so much reflection, particularly in the beginning, because as the format of the book is let me say it this way: the subtitle of the book is "My Journal and Journey to Freedom." So this is me publishing my journal, and it's me reflecting on what Christianity taught me and asking questions of it. It is
Mm.
reflecting on some of the things I did on behalf of Christianity that I now regret. And so it none of it was easy. There were parts that were easier than other journal entries to write, but from the beginning, where some of it maybe I had some fun with no no.
Wow.
There were times I would keep it light, but light for me was still heavy.
So then
Because
somebody might say, why do it?
because I think that so many of us are going through the same journey of asking ourselves very difficult questions about what we believe, about what we've been taught, about a lot of things, not just religion. I'm going through some other things now, other documents, the Constitution, bank books, and things I've been taught about money and mortgages. And I've now gotten to the place of freedom where the freedom has uh, kind of walked over or stepped over into my financial life. And so I'm having to ask myself difficult questions. I'm having to read more books than just the Bible. to find this freedom that I believe is ordained for me. And again, it's hard. It's these, you have to ask yourself hard, difficult questions about convictions, what you felt convicted about for so long. That's not easy. That's not easy. It was worth it because on the second year anniversary, as you and I are talking today, the second year anniversary of the book release, it was
Today.
released 2 years ago today.
Congratulations.
There are posts online about it. Thank you for the congratulations. And to see and hear and talk to so many people that
What are they saying?
They can relate. One of my favorites is someone who was family to me. What
Yes.
I considered family. She was at one point a hairstylist of mine, and
What'd
to
she say?
she to me, when before the book, if I could say, before Christ or BC, before
Yeah.
the book, my perception of her was very dogmatic about her beliefs in Christianity. And I go away to China, come back, I still away. I'm not as outgoing anymore because I'm trying to write this book. I'm going through this journey of stripping Christianity. And so I'm just kind of staying to myself, trying to figure out the world through this new perspective. And eventually the book comes out, and she is blown away that she's one I thought would be like, "You get away from me, you're going to hell." Turns out quietly, she's going through the same thing.
Well, a lot of folks nowadays are. It's like the awakening.
Yes.
It really is. Spiritualism is on the move because there's so much oppression attached with organized religion and control and just all kinds of things that simply go against the entire theory, if you ask me, of a higher belief. I have a thing going on right now. I always call it when I get an edict, a download that tells me what the theme for this next season for me is. And I got my latest theme about maybe 4 weeks ago. Do you guys remember? Because I did a show about it and popped it up on the screen and everything. Remember that, you guys? And I was told that my theme, until further notice, is raising my temple. That's what raising my temple. Like if the Amish raise a barn, they build it from the ground up, and raising my temple, which is for me, stretching, reaching, getting outside of the box, being open to, because unconditional means borderless. It means just being willing. It's a whole new type of willingness for me.
A greater surrender.
Yeah, surrender. And now, what they told me? I'm gonna just say this, because when I say what they told me, I'm speaking to everything greater than myself, and that's what I ascribe to. They, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to not have to live in fear of retribution and all the I can almost smell the sulfur as I start to describe it. I remember when I was a little kid, I was afraid of, it was like Freddy Krueger, the devil.
Yes.
It was so scary.
Yes.
And then so I was afraid of him half the week, and the rest of the week I was afraid I was going to get my butt whooped or caught for something that was going to send me to the devil anyway. So it was like a big perpetual hamster wheel of fear and trepidation.
Yes.
There was very little joy. There were things like I enjoyed fellowship at church.
Yes.
I enjoyed that thing about church every week, and the way our house felt on weekends, and the way the food smelled different and tasted different, and how you took naps and played games, and you saw people and they sat around and talked. And standing in front of the church on the church steps and
Yes.
going back to church in the all that
Yes.
stuff. I love
Yes.
it. The
Yes.
youth program, all of that stuff I love.
Yep.
But it was after I got out of that age of accountability and you start living real life is when it started to go, well, wait, you see, what is she doing with him? And that kind of stuff. And then you start understanding things that didn't mean anything to you before because you were a kid, just loving this. So that's the thing with me. And let me ask you, why do you think this now, and why you? Why do you think?
Say
That why this movement? Because this is a movement.
Yes.
Why this thing? Why now in this day and age? Post COVID, now all of it. I think that has a lot to do with it. And why you, of all people?
I can say that it takes courage to make this announcement. And it could be that I have the courage that many of us don't. Because believe me, I am not the first one with this sentiment. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not the first one, but it was actually a prayer. I wasn't, and I had never heard it before. I wasn't trying to write a book. I was frustrated with what I was seeing with Christianity. I was feeling claustrophobic by church in my community. And between our white evangelical brothers and sisters of influence voicing their opinion about having a Black president, and my feeling claustrophobic and limited by the local Black church in my community, Lord, I don't want to die a Christian. It just came out. And whoa, wait a minute. The first thing I thought was, wow, where'd that come from?
Blasphemy!
Right. The second thing I thought, that's a book. And the third thing I thought was, I didn't intend on writing a book. And so I just began to pray about what this book was supposed to be. And so it wasn't. Who
do you pray to?
I prayed to who, because even God is
you didn't answer.
No, I was going to say even God is a man-made term. So that which is greater than I.
How you gonna use my term? Get your own.
You borrowed it.
I had it first.
You borrowed it from somebody else.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing sun.
There it is. And it is because I'm serious. I always go like, you know what, just to keep me humble. I like that. And I use the analogy all the time. I say, like, even if you put me in a room with 10 roaches in the dark and turn the light on, in that particular moment, those roaches, I guarantee you, are greater than I am because there ain't no way I can move as fast as they did when the light came on.
See?
So they're greater than me. In that circumstance, they are greater than I am. And so when you can find, you see what I mean?
Yes.
Because
I believe it was Jesus. I believe Jesus is quoted to have said, greater is he that is in me.
And he is.
Then he didn't say, now, if this is Jesus saying it, he didn't say greater is he that is in me. As in, or greater is me that is in you. He didn't say that.
No,
because a lot we gotta pull Jesus. We have to accept Jesus into our lives, and Jesus is God. And he didn't say greater is me that is in you. He said greater is he.
Yeah.
That is in you than he that live in the world.
Yeah.
And so that which is greater than I.
Yeah.
It's who I call Daddy.
Well, and the thing is, for me too, I'll be honest with you, I take it beyond just one deity. When I say greater than me, I'm talking to the angels. I'm talking to the Holy Spirits, plural. I'm talking to the things that they didn't tell us about because we can barely wrap our minds around the couple they gave us the names of. And so I just say everything that was created through the same portal of love and service and kindness and empathy and all those things that we are here to use to enable us to ease suffering and to pour into each other. I'm speaking to y'all. I'm speaking to those cut from the same bolt of cloth, and then we have to remember too, that we are creatures of dominion.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I know I'm the only one out of all those that speaks here, because we were given dominion here. And that means, and that's why what we say is so important. So important. And that's one of the things about organized religion too, is that a lot of people, I just had a family member call me day before yesterday, apologizing for something when she left this house. She's in California a couple months ago. I didn't even remember it. And it was all because, that judgmental organized religion thing came out in here, because it was during Halloween time and our house was decorated.
Oh, yeah.
Demons, right. And I'm like, it's a gnome. You know what I'm saying? Would you stop? It's a pumpkin, right? Ooh, demons, right? I'm like, ain't nobody trying to hear it. And then they were like, I thought about it, and I'm sorry that, because it's so automatic,
right?
And that's the thing that I did not like. So when you really baptized within true love, unconditional love, and it's all around us. Even like people always think falling in love is about, I love you. No, falling in love means that that's why there are no mistakes, because every time I fall, it's okay, because I am falling in love, because that's what catches me. Got me every time. That is home. That is the Spirit.
Yeah.
That is God for me. You see? And so that's what I choose over. Banish you from my kingdom and burn for all of eternity by the gnashing of teeth and stuff that used to scare. I'd be scared of a twig moving outside.
Carlton Pearson says, who has transitioned recently, says the good news is that the bad news is wrong.
See? Ooh.
The good news.
I love that.
The good news is that the bad news is wrong.
Ooh, I got to write that down. The good news
is that the bad news. The thing that gets me is that even if the bad news is true, who wants to walk around declaring that? Who wants to?
Good question.
I literally write about leaving the race of winning souls to Christ, because that agenda has to start with believing women all over the world are giving birth to broken children, because then those children become adults. And so I'm racing to win souls to Christ because they came into the world broken. That's what I have to believe. And I don't want to do that anymore. If that's the case, that's not my business. I feel a greater sense of purpose and freedom for myself to just believe in loving people.
I love that. So tell me, Chandra, what do you hope this book is still doing 50 years from now, 100 years from now?
Still giving permission to readers and people who are curious about God, because I believe religion will still be existing 50 years, 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Still giving people, young people, college students, the permission to ask questions about what they've been taught to believe.
So if you don't want to die a Christian, and this ain't me talking, this is Miss Jenkins, the bootleg beer lady that had the bootleg beer. If she don't want to die a Christian, then what the hell she want to die as? Give me more of that bumping face jeans.
So I have to read you this. Gasp went my younger sister after hearing the title of this book. Well, what do you want to die as? And I said, can I just die as Chandrika? Can I just die as a person who loves God and loves people? That's it.
Indeed. And what'd she say?
She was just like, oh, okay. Then the next thing was, well, what is mom and daddy gonna say? But I
Well,
don't want
that's
to
a
talk
good
about
question. And what
I
did
don't
you
want.
say?
I don't necessarily. I haven't been given permission to offer what their response is. But
What does that mean? You haven't been given permission?
they have
By
not.
who? Them?
Yeah, I think it's fair to honor, you know, because again, my parents are pastors today. They pastor a church,
Oh,
so
that's a tough one.
yeah. So to
But they still have a good. You're not estranged.
no, that's what I
Eh,
was going to say. But
right.
I applaud them for they love their child. So I didn't know how it was going to be. I can't tell you that I expected them to could stay in contact. I can't tell you that, but they have. My
Well, they
mother
have.
called me
Well,
today.
that's a bold move, and the reason even that much is important to put out there, just for transparency reasons, but also for the simple fact that, to prove that sometimes, what we're called to do, we're called to do it no matter what,
Yes,
no matter what.
yes,
And it means in many instances, and there are tons of people who can attest to the fact that in order to be and do what they were created for and brought to this world to do, in other words, to quench that thirst their soul came here thirsty for, oftentimes sacrifice.
hmm
I don't think that there's ever a time. Surrender and sacrifice go hand in hand.
hmm
They
hmm
really do. They
hmm
go hand in hand. And so I applaud you. I applaud you. What has been one of the greatest realizations for yourself that you could have never seen coming from taking on this a pretty big bite of the apple?
I never could have seen coming meeting so many people who think the same thing. I never could have seen that coming. I have spoken to people literally around this world, not just this country.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know. I didn't know that would happen. I didn't foresee it becoming a best-selling book. I didn't foresee it becoming an award-winning
I'm
book.
going to say it won an award, didn't it? A couple of them.
Yeah, 3.
Talk about that real quick. Tell the audience about that.
One is the Indie Book Awards. It won finalist in 2 categories. And the other is Writer's Digest. It won a finalist in that with that organization. The Reader's Digest? I mean, really? Like it I don't have any words. I didn't write it to do that. It's my first book. I don't feel like I'm gifted at writing. I just did my best to reconsider, look back again at what I had been taught, what I had been pushing, what I had become, and I wrote from a different perspective.
Well, and as a first-time writer, let's stop there for a second because I think that's important. Talk to people who may not think that I didn't go to college. And
Right.
Did you self-publish? Did you get a publisher? How did it all come about?
So I started writing first. I had a manuscript, and I have a good friend of mine, a good sister of mine, who also I met in China doing the same work I was doing, who had published a book with a publishing company. So I asked her, I said, hey, would you present the idea to them? I tried to a lot of other publishers. I even tried to go to, I think this is important. I tried to go under a Black publishing company. But what did we say earlier? We are afraid of, making such an announcement. It takes courage.
It sure does.
And so,
And a lot of people are afraid of that when the poodle shakes, some of that, going to splash on them.
yes.
Seriously,
Yeah.
because they don't know, especially when you disrupt.
Right. So the publisher same day heard the title and sent me an email and said, please, can we talk? It was a great match. What I love today about my publishing company, the company I signed with, W Brand, publishing is how approachable they are. Just easy to approach. Book is published, book is out there, been out there for 2 years, have really not too many reasons to still remain approachable. Contract signed, getting paid, and yet today. Matter of fact, we were texting earlier, still just very approachable, very personable, and that's my favorite thing, because the process to publishing, especially when you are connecting or partnering with someone, is not easy. It may be easier to publish, self-publish. There is, there's a sense of creativity. This is my baby, and you telling me to do what?
Yeah.
You telling me to do? My cover was going to be different if I had self-published, but I learned so much about how books should be presented, and still learning about the changes of printing and Amazon and all of the
Yeah.
things, and but I didn't write it for money. I wrote it for my niece and nephew, who are also being influenced by Christianity and the church. And if they get older and have questions about what they've been taught, they'll know that it's okay, it's safe. Auntie had them too.
Right. I know that's right.
And still
Oh,
does. I still am still asking questions. I'll give you an example of one question I asked recently, which is not as deep as I go in the book, but I was talking to someone who was doing my hair, and I said, Jesus talks about keeping fasting a secret. So why do we know about his 40-day fast? Just those kinds of things, and so, I ask a lot about Bible contradiction. One of my favorite passages is the idea of theology, which is the study of God, and how Christianity, I realize, has never studied God. They study studies of God. So reading the Bible, the constant Wednesday night Bible studies and Sunday morning, we're studying studies of God. If we really studied God, if we really studied it, I think we would have more of appreciation for individual beliefs and ideas, and perhaps respect each other, because we wouldn't have a lot of choice. But we're studying studies of God. So now we are picking and choosing and fighting against perspectives of someone else's study of God.
Do you still pray?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how do you start your prayers?
Yes, Lord. Surrender.
Okay. So see, that's what I'm saying. That's it all comes back to those things. It started that's why that's the part of organized religion that I like to hold on to and I'm proud of. Like I say to people, I'm grateful for it because it's where it all began for me. And I know people who didn't have any beginning.
Yes.
No once upon a time when it came to something greater than themselves.
Yes.
And at least I had something to grow out of in order to grow into something else.
Can I read you this?
It was a container.
Can I read you this?
How long is it?
It's not long.
We got 2 minutes.
You said it was a container.
Yeah.
The womb is limited in space and expansion. So just as we all outgrow it, I've grown out of the religion I was born into. The same appreciation I have for the womb of my mother, I also owe to Christianity. If it were not for the Christian faith, I wouldn't have my relationship with God. But just as the womb is after 9 months of embryo growth to birth, Christianity is now too small for the reflection and expression of God I've been called to.
Exactly right. Couldn't have said it better myself. Listen, you guys, on the bottom of the screen right there is the LinkedIn link, and here is also the Facebook link over to right underneath me if you see. And I'll take the liberty of dropping both of these links inside the comment section directly at the conclusion of today's broadcast, which unfortunately is just in a little bit over a minute here. But I want you guys to get over and continue the dialogue. And where do they go to order the book?
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, and a plethora of other places. Just Google it if you like, and see where you where it's on sale on Amazon right now.
How did it do? For Christmas last year? I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing.
I don't recall.
Because is it the kind of thing you don't think that? I mean, would you recommend giving it to a person for Christmas?
Yeah, sure, but I recommend you giving it to a person who is open.
Who is open?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't write it to challenge anyone.
Right.
I wrote it to help people who are already in the same place I am and was at that time.
There you go. There you go. Facebook.com/Chandrika.Phea, Phea. And then again, one more time before posterity. LinkedIn, there it is. And same name with a D and Phea, Phea. Okay. Well, we look forward to all that you have coming up in the next year and beyond. Can't wait to see where you take it and on the next roller coaster ride, literarily speaking, of course.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, congratulations on all your accomplishments. I'm sure there will be many more coming. And let us know whatever's next and come back and pour into us again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, all of you out there, thank you for dealing with my silliness earlier about is it tonight or is it tomorrow? But anyway, get out of here and have a great night. Or is it day? I'm just saying, I will see you Monday morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch as together we do our very best. We do our very best to pour into each other. I'm going to leave you on this first day of December in this very